Now at 11, a major emergency response after a hotel in Southwest Washington goes up in flames.
There's a lot of events, and this hotel is very much utilized.
Plus, a sigh of relief for some after a judge's ruling on tear gas use at the Portland ICE facility.
It's really painful to experience, but it also lingers.
And an event celebrating women in beer back for its 11th year.
You get to be really creative with it. It might not be something that you'll see in our tap rooms.
A taste of this year's Brew tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story here at 11 is the latest news surrounding a major hotel fire in Kelso, Washington. It happened at the Red Lion Hotel on Kelso Drive, with one fire official calling this a hit to the community. Firefighters were first called around 1:40 this afternoon and almost immediately elevated the response. Multiple surrounding districts were called in. There were about 60 firefighters on scene at one point tonight. Part of the hotel's roof had collapsed and crews had to make cuts in other sections to spray water and keep the fire from spreading.
This is going to be an extended operation. Should go through the night, or at least towards the end of the night. And we do have some heavy equipment ordered, and we'll be here tomorrow to help move some walls around and make sure we get some of those hot spots.
First responders helped evacuate people from 16 rooms there in the hotel, as well as 43 staff members. The cause of the fire is under investigation. People who live near Portland's ICE facility are breathing a sigh of relief after a federal judge issued a preliminary injunction restricting the use of tear gas by federal agents. The ruling follows months of complaints that chemical munitions deployed during protests were seeping into the homes of an affordable housing complex. One resident telling our Jake Holter she's grateful to have been heard in court.
We aren't invisible anymore.
Mindy King lives here at Gray's Landing, right across the street from the ICE facility.
To see it change so quickly to a place of fear where I had to teach my child how to put on a gas mask, and I had to constantly be on guard about, did we leave a window open?
King in disbelief that her life now involved putting on a gas mask in her home, her sanctuary.
This was an actual functional need I had in my home. It's now hanging on my kitchen shelves so that it's accessible at any moment. To get to the point where we needed that, it's ridiculous. It's insane that in this country where I felt so protected and I felt safe, to have that shattered, it's something I never expected to experience.
She says she felt the use of gas by the agents was indiscriminate and happened even with smaller crowds, times when she was less prepared.
Ripping the air conditioner out of my window so that I can get it closed, and those are the times that I got tear gas in my apartment.
That gas taking a toll on her health.
Having a sore throat just from being around the tear gas, even, the times between October and January when they weren't tear gassing, I still was experiencing stuff from the residue around the apartment.
So King joined the lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security alongside fellow tenants and her building.
So we have residents who went into heart failure, residents who had to be prescribed inhalers, residents who couldn't sleep and had to put gas masks on, residents who had to put gas masks on their kids.
Madison Moskowitz works at Reach, which operates the Gray's Landing apartment complex. She says they have incurred almost $250,000 working to keep the apartments and offices clean of chemical residue from the agents' munitions.
That cleaning is really hard to do when there's another round of gas the next day or the next week. So a permanent injunction is really essential to keep our residents safe and healthy and free from this unwarranted intrusion by the federal government.
The temporary injunction in place until the case is over.
The fact that we were able to accomplish this will really set the precedent and give other vulnerable communities the opportunity to protect themselves as well and be inspired by the strength of action that we took here.
Jake Holter.
Moskowitz says they are asking the community and elected officials for help paying off the hundreds of thousands in unexpected expenses that have come with keeping the building clear of chemicals. We've reached out to DHS for comment, but have not yet heard back. Well, time to take a live look outside. We are just hours away now from skipping from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. as we get set for daylight saving time. Corey Johnson joining us tonight with more on what our Sunday and the first day of the time change is going to look like. Hey, Corey.
Hey, good evening, John. Yeah, I mean, we are losing an hour, but it'll at least be a pretty beautiful day on tap for us as we get into our Sunday. Taking a look right now from our Vancouver camera, the Springs at the waterfront, a cloudy evening on tap, 51 degrees for us currently. Temperatures right now sitting in the low 50s across many areas, 53 in Portland, 52 in Beaverton. It looks like 51 in Hillsborough currently. This is our Rose City sky camera, another cloudy view this evening, and a few very light sprinkles scattered across different areas. Some over in Longview. It looks like Battleground and McMinnville seeing just a few sprinkles at this time, but otherwise it's a clear evening in other stretches, including our Salem sky camera. Take a look at this from the Capitol, 47 degrees and a nice calm wind. Now, as we get into our Sunday, a new week, of course, we are going to be cloudy, but we're also going to start with some on and off showers that will start near the coast and in Southwest Washington. But as we get throughout the rest of the day, around the afternoon hours, they do start to taper off just a little bit. We'll sit in the mid 50s tomorrow as a whole across many stretches, but we also have more rain to usher in as we start the new work week. I have the timing of all of that coming up.
All right, Corey, thanks so much. We'll see you later in the show. The remains of 6 American service members killed in the first week of the Israel and U.S. strikes on Iran are back on U.S. soil. President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, and Vice President J.D. Vance were among dignitaries paying tribute in a dignified transfer ceremony at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. A prayer and then salutes for each of the 6 coffins before they're taken to be positively identified by an armed forces medical examiner and prepared for burial in final respects. Before flying to Delaware, the president giving comments about the conflict in Iran and at the Shield of the Americas summit. That's a group of conservative Latin American leaders. President Trump says the U.S. has already sunk 42 Iranian ships in 3 days and is doing a 15 out of 10 rating on the joint Israeli-U.S. attack on Iran.
That was the end of the Navy. We knocked out their Air Force. We knocked out their communications, and all telecommunications is gone. I don't know how they communicate, but I guess they will figure something out. It's not working out too well. And they're bad people. They're just bad people.
The president also claiming that Iran was close to building and using a nuclear weapon before the strikes took place. Back here at home, a man is facing attempted murder charges after Portland police say he stabbed a woman inside a restaurant this afternoon. Officers were called to Northeast Grand and Hasalo, where they found the suspect, 42-year-old Elias Lavelle, in the restaurant's doorway with a knife. Officers say Lavelle attacked a customer while robbing the place. He was detained and the victim was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, but thankfully she's expected to recover. An update this week in the case of a man accused of shooting several traffic cameras across Portland. On Wednesday, a judge sentenced Chase Grijalua to 2 years in prison and ordered him to pay more than $55,000 to the city. It's after he pled guilty to shooting a number of cameras over about a week in 2024. He was also sentenced to 5 years probation. Well, yes, the highlight is beer, but at its core, it's a celebration of women. Today was the first day and kickoff of Brew 2026, back for its 11th year, this time at Portland Art Museum. There were more women-owned vendors than ever before, of course, many showcasing their beer and cider. But for the first time, the Brewing Festival featured a vodka distiller.
It really runs the gamut. We have every style of beer. We've got fruit beers, we've got IPAs, we've got hazies, we've got stouts. It's everything under the sun. We even have cocktails this year. We put it in a rum barrel with pineapple, let that barrel age for a while, finished it off in what's called a bright tank with 50 pounds of coconut, and then went ahead and kegged it off, and it's called Getting Caught in Lorraine.
Well, if you like pina coladas, that's probably a good one for you. The celebration is completely a nonprofit with proceeds going to the Human Rights Campaign.